Everybody, we are back. It is Taped to Live's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me and at mholder95 for Matt, and of course at Glenn Rockney for Glenn. And then last but not least, TDL discount code pandasubs.com, discount code TDL for 35% off. All right, guys. So I'm doing it solo today. We're going solo. Matt having a little bit of personal issues, and Glenn couldn't make it today, so we do solo. Come with you guys and talk a little bit. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Do a little talk about the schedule. The schedule releases are always interesting because we're talking about games that haven't been played yet. So we're like, everybody does what these teams gonna do, what this team's gonna do. We're not really seeing, there's injuries are gonna happen. There's a lot of things that can happen to make a difference. But we're gonna talk about the schedule, and then you guys have any good questions for me? Go ahead and answer any questions you guys got for me from like rookie camp or anything like that. But let everybody get in here. Hope you guys are doing well. The Raiders got a pretty interesting schedule. It seems a little tough at the beginning, but I think the ending is interesting. I don't know why they put all the AFC South teams at the end. I mean, the NFC South. I mean, they put all those teams at the end. Of course, you got the big Derek Carr matchup at the end of it, so it's going to be interesting to see how this season goes out. All right, but I'm excited, man. We're getting close to football. It's May, man. We got like 2 months. We got training camps in 2 months now, man. You know what I mean? It's a good spot to be as a fan of football. I feel like it's going fast, man. These years going by fast, but that's fine. I mean, we want football back, and hopefully we get a great Raiders season. So I'm ready for season kickoff. I'm ready for college football. I'm ready for just football. We're kind of that dead period, getting baseball, basketball is happening right now. Dallas is kicking OKC's ass, so OKC might be a little bit in trouble. But shout out Kyrie Irving. But you know what I mean? It's getting close to football, guys. I'm excited, and let's talk about a little schedule here, man. Look at everything that's happening here. If you guys haven't, go ahead. Bradley's gonna have the job by then. You guys are funny. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. We all know Derek Carr at least gets he's at least playing for the playoffs in the last couple of weeks. We don't know if he's gonna make it, but he'll have you in the playoff contention. So I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we'll see, man. So what was I gonna say? So look at the schedule a little bit. Couple of things before we get into the schedule. I got some cool videos up. I got Dylan Lobby. I got Trey Taylor. You got the members one, which you got the members one. I got Trey Taylor. I got Dylan Lobby. You get full snaps, about 30 minutes of coverage on those two. And then, of course, I got the normal breakdowns for everybody. So if you guys want to join the membership, see some new members in here that I see in here. So join that. You guys get a full breakdown of all these rookies. I'm probably do Eichenberg pretty soon here. And then when Matt comes back, of course, we'll go back to doing these shows for you guys and checking that out. So let's get into the schedule, guys. Let's just get into this. Week one. Right, week one, we got the Chargers. Which that's gonna be an interesting game because they're gonna be a brand new team. All right, so the Raiders not really have an idea of what they're gonna do. We know they're gonna run the ball, but I think it's gonna be a good test for the defensive line with the first game against the Chargers. The Raiders are at LA. That's really gonna be a home game for the Raiders if you think about it, right? So since it's gonna be a home game for the Raiders, you really kind of hope they come out and it's not like 2022, right, where they just have that ugly game. Aiden O'Connell had a pretty bad game. Khalil Mack loves to play the Raiders, but the Raiders were able to shut him down last time they played. So it's gonna be super interesting how they move on that one on the Chargers. But I do like that matchup for the Raiders. I kind of do. I think the Raiders match up well the Chargers. I think the Chargers, especially in offense, the Chargers are not what I would say barn burn. They don't scare you on offense. They're gonna have a lot of rookies on offense, I believe. Can't think about all their draft picks a little bit, but they haven't really On offense, they don't scare you, and then on defense, I mean, they don't scare you that much either. So I think that's going to be a tough one. Uh, but I really feel like they can win that game. That's a game they can win. In my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think there. What they're gonna do on that one. Let me just see some of these questions. I'm just gonna answer these questions while I'm going here, because especially since I'm by myself here. Oh, he said I'm already watching Carson Beck film. Okay, all right, man. All right, man. Maybe. I think with that, I think you are sleeping on the defense a little bit. I think this is gonna be a defensive team, so we have to start there, and I think that's gonna be the way this outlook looks a little bit. Is Rattler gonna beat out Hayner? That's a good question. That's a damn good question. I don't know about that, man. Spencer Rattler is an interesting guy. He's an interesting case. We'll see how that goes. The only problem about LAC week 1 is Derwin, Bosa, and Mac are going to be healthy. Yeah, that is the interesting part of that is their defense a little bit, but I see that I think they're going to be a new team still, and I think they'd be running a totally different defense. It's be interesting to see how they come out week 1. They're going to be pumped because they got Jim Harbaugh. He's going to give some rah speech and get them all rah up and get them all excited. But I think the Raiders defense kind of has an idea about how to play Justin Herbert though, so it's going to be a different aspect there for week 1. Let's see, what game am I planning to go to? Let me see. What home games we got? I might go to the Chargers game. Because definitely I'll try to get some press box seats for that one. So I'm gonna try to do for this one. Get some Chargers game, cover that one. Definitely Steelers is a game I'm looking at to go head out to, because that's a good game just to go out there and go to Vegas, check that one out. Even maybe Los Angeles, man, and just go to LA, check out LA one more time. There's a couple of games I'm gonna go to because I'm pretty close to LA. So some of the games I'm gonna go to out there that I'm looking at here, especially the end of the year. And you never know. Maybe you take that trip out to New Orleans, man, late in the year, dude. I don't know, because that's gonna be I mean, I'm surprised this game's not earlier, man. The Saints game. I am super surprised this game is not earlier. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So that's interesting to me. Have you watched any tape on UDFA wide receiver Ramel Keaton out of Tennessee, 6'3" with good hands? I haven't watched any film on him directly, but I've watched a lot of Tennessee film, and I know they got some pretty good wide receivers out there that were able to get open for Joe Milton. So I don't know if he have a chance to make this football team, but he might be able to practice squad guy. I'm gonna start looking into those undrafted guys once I get through some of these rookies here. So yeah, Glenn couldn't make it tonight. He was invited. I made sure to invite Glenn. He just couldn't make it tonight for this late one. Yeah. So yeah, only 2 primetime games is kind of, in my opinion, that's disrespectful too. Just because I think the Raiders weren't like one. I think the Raiders are like the Cowboys, right? I mean, they are like the Cowboys. But let's keep it real. Sunday night game is going to be watched. Ain't like nobody's going to watch the Raiders play. If anybody, people want to watch the Raiders lose. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand that in my opinion. The Jets got 6, and now they got Aaron Rodgers. And I understand. I understand that they got Aaron Rodgers. But if you were just going on paper, you would think the Raiders would probably be a better football team. And that could change too if the Raiders win some games. I mean, like this Miami game could be interesting. I know the game's on Amazon Prime already. But like some of these other games here, like, the Miami game is an interesting one. If the Raiders can win some games, they can, maybe they could switch some of these primetime games up and earn some more primetime games as well, especially with some of these other teams. The Tampa Bay is good and the Raiders are good. It's all going to be dependent on the Raiders, right? So I think that's going to be a big thing for the Raiders. So, but week 1, I do like their matchup against the Chargers. Now, week 2 is the Ravens. Now, this one's going to be super interesting because, I mean, they're going to Baltimore. And we all know how the Raiders play at 10 a.m. games. It just hasn't been great historically. You know what I mean? It just hasn't been great historically for the Raiders to go and play on the East Coast. So if the Raiders go to Baltimore and win that game, that's going to tell us a lot about this damn football team. I think even if they go out there and that's a super close game and they're playing some serious defense out there, and they're controlling Lamar Jackson, I think it's going to tell us a lot about this football team, win or lose. Right? If they go out there, they get beat 33-7, and we should be worried. But if they go out there, they lose like 20-17 or something like that, I think it's going to let us know a lot about that game, right? A lot about this Raiders football team, right? Because they don't have too many 10 a.m. starts here. But that's gonna tell us a lot about this football team right away, man. Is whether they look like going to the East Coast. I mean, going across the country. I mean, Maryland's like right at the edge. You know what I'm saying? And my whole family lives in Maryland. That's about a 4 or 5 hour flight. All right. And I know they're flying private jets, but man, that's a 4 or 5 hour flight, no matter how you look at it. I mean, I don't know if they should find a way. You can't get there early because you're playing in LA, and so it's gonna be a little tough for that one on that game. That's how I look at it. It's gonna be tough to go all the way to the 10 a.m. game. The Chargers game is not gonna be tough for them. I mean, it's gonna be a home game for them. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys are talking about Keaton. I'm gonna have to watch some tape on him because I got Tennessee film. I know. I got Tennessee film too. Yeah, it's the Ravens home opener. They're gonna have the what is it, the Park City Shuffle? They call it Park City Shuffle dudes out there. They're gonna be out there shuffling for the game, doing a little Baltimore club dances. It's gonna be wild. So the Raiders go out there and play some games, and play a good football game, and give the Ravens everything they got. It's gonna let us know a lot about this football team. So give me some of your thoughts on that, guys. What do you guys think about that? I think that's gonna be a tough one there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's gonna be tough. I mean, the Ravens are a good football team. You know what I mean? Like they lost their defensive coordinator though, so that's gonna be an adjustment for them. But they still got those dogs over there. I know they lost Patrick Queen, so that's gonna be a big gap for them to lose. But they still got Kyle Hamilton. They got Marlon Humphrey. All those dogs over there. So, and of course they got that offense. They got Lamar Jackson, right? So the Raiders did have a pretty good game plan for Lamar Jackson back in 2021 when the last time they played the Ravens. But man, it's going to be tough to win that game, but they got to get one of these two, right? To start this season. So when they get to this stretch here, like this is when it gets really winnable here. I think this stretch of games right here are very, very winnable, right? So if they can get one of these two, it's very key that they get one of these. Now, the one ideal one is to get this Chargers one, because this Raven ones, it's just historically, they don't have a chance historically, right? Just if you're a Raiders fan, you know how those 10 a.m. games, the travel to New York, playing the Jets, the bombing, whatever, I don't think Josh McDaniels ever won a 10 a.m. start. I think they won a 10 a.m. start last year off the top of my head. Guys, let me know if I'm wrong. But if they can pull off one of those, if they can just go one-on-one, just opens up this stretch of games. Because honestly, I really feel like they could win all of these here, right? These are all winnable games. The Browns, they play good defense, but on offense, I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, Deshaun Watson's a little bit of a shell of himself. He got a crazy tattoo today. Did you guys see his tattoo? You guys see Deshaun Watson's tattoo? Trying to be a fake ass Max Crosby in his back, bro. Has Martin Luther King with like with a hat throwing a peace sign or some shit like he was having. Like, dude's crazy, man. Get out of here with that shit. So, I mean, Pittsburgh game's at home, so I see somebody talk about at yeah, the LK in the fitted was crazy. Like, what was that? What was that damn tattoo that he had? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like 10 hours, just, and then like he had like a ringless Browns, like the Browns was like a ring, and it wasn't filled yet. Like he was gonna have a ring there. Like, bro, it's so he's a tattoo artist out. Yeah, you got to switch it up, man. No more massage parlors. You know what I mean? It's probably not that more exciting in Cleveland for massage parlors either. So, yeah, and it's in Vegas too, man. Yeah, he might be hitting that massage parlor in Vegas. You don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to do there. But like I said, these are all winnable games here. But one thing I do want to point out is that there's not a lot of 10 a.m. starts here, right? So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we got 5 10 a.m. starts. The Bengals one's going to be tough, 10 a.m. So is the Dolphins. We saw how that went last year, but they played pretty decent last year there. That was a winnable game if Aiden O'Connell could finish the game off. Tampa Bay, That's gonna be another tough one. They might stay out there after this one, especially with them being on Amazon Prime week 13. I don't know what date that is. What date is this? Is this what date is this? What's week 13? Is it like Thanksgiving? Right around there? Somebody let me know, man, in the chat here. But they don't have too many 10 a.m. games, which I think is a pretty good look for them. And I know they're still doing a lot of traveling. Oh, it's Black Friday. So Black Friday, they get a little bit of break. Then they can hit up Tampa. Okay, that makes a little sense. So yeah, primetime game there with the Chiefs on Black Friday, which we'll all be watching that one. But like I said, guys, it's gonna be pretty interesting to start. But when we get past, let's backtrack here. Let me slow it down here. Let me slow it down, guys. I'm kind of moving my head here. So we got Carolina, right? 105 start. That's the first home game, right? The Raiders played really well at home last year. That was something that they did really well. I'm not 100% sure what the record was, but I could think of the losses at home. Probably with the Steelers, right? They lost at home, and the Chiefs and that stupid Vikings game. Those probably the three losses at home off the top of my head that I could think of. The other games at home, they played pretty damn well, and they've done that across the past couple seasons. Even in 2021 and 2022, they played better at home than they do on the road. Yeah, that is true. We beat the Steelers at 10 a.m. in 2021. Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, but that was when like Derek Carr was playing out of his damn mind. we that was the best Derek Carr we've ever seen. So hopefully we can get some quarterback play on that one. Yeah. We'll see how Carolina plays. I mean, Bryce Young might take a leap, but I still think they're not better than Raiders though. I think the Raiders, like especially if they end up slipping on these two games, they gotta win this one, right? So this is gonna be a big game, but I still think if they pull out one of these two, and then they hit for, and then they get this one, they can start 2-1, and then you get Cleveland, which is another winnable game. You can get to around 3-1, right? And then Denver, we own Denver at this point, so I'm not. To me, I circle the Denver games as wins. I don't know about any of the other Raider fans. But that's what I do. Yeah, nobody that can block Max Crosby or Malcolm Kuntz or Christian Wilkins. Let's say that. I know they went and got Robert Hunt. I think they got Robert Hunt for a lot of money, but Robert Hunt is not having Tua getting rid of the ball in 3 seconds. So that's gonna be a big difference for him. So I think that he could be beatable. And then Christian Wilkins has played against Robert Hunt his whole career. So that's a very winnable game. To me, they got to win this one. That's a must win. Like you cannot mess around with this game, right? Because especially after these first two, the first two are going to be tough games just because the first one's division, and the second one is going to be tough on the road going to 10 a.m. But like I said, if they win this game, if they win these first two games, man, I'm going to be hype, and I think all Raiders fans will be hype if they win these first two games because that would really set the tone for the season. But I do think the defense is going to set the tone for the season altogether. So, so we get Carolina, right? I think this is a winnable game. The Browns is very winnable because I think on offense the Browns are very good, and they're going to play a lot of man-to-man. And I hope somebody like Luke Getsy can take advantage of Jim Schwartz and his man-to-man defense, especially when you got Devontae Adams, you got Trey Tucker, you got Brock Bowers now, right? They're going to be playing man-to-man, you know what I mean, against us with the matchups that we have. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting on defense, and I know Cleveland does have a good roster, but it's just more about matchup wise, right? Because you see how the Texans and like even like the Colts kind of scored a lot of points on them, right? On the Browns last year, and it's because they play man, and when you play man to man in the NFL, it's tough, right? I mean, I know you got Denzel Ward, but in some of those other corners. But if the Raiders can set it up and these guys can win off the line, it's gonna be hard for them to match up man to man, especially when you can play, kind of what I would say is a lot of 12 personnel against the Browns, and you can kind of keep it, there. And I know Myles Garrett is over there too, and he's gonna be able to, get after the quarterback. But if you could run the ball against the Browns, I mean, because that's something Myles Garrett. That's kind of why I like Max Crosby a little bit over some of those other guys, because you could run the ball at Myles Garrett. That's the thing you could do with him. You could run the ball at him, and that's why I say this. It is a winnable game, right? I think the Raiders can win that game, especially at home, because if we think about this the opposite way, these teams are especially Cleveland, they're coming from the East Coast to Las Vegas. Carolina is coming from the East Coast to Las Vegas, right? So it's gonna be a little different for those two teams to come over there and be ready to play. And especially, you never know with some of these teams. Some of these guys might come to Vegas and they might party, just like teams go to Miami, and that's why a lot of teams lose in Miami, because you go to Miami and then you end up at the strip club or something like that. You end up at Tootsie's or King of Diamonds, and then then you play a game on Sunday. You know what I mean? So that's the thing with Las Vegas too, is that some of these guys, a lot of NFL players, they just can't help themselves. Let's keep it real; they can't help themselves. So that's a little bit of the advantage of playing in Las Vegas a little bit, but I do think the matchup with Cleveland, because you're getting you're literally going to get man across the board. You're going to get single high man-to-man defense. That's what you're going to get from the Browns, right? And they're going to be dependent on the pass rush to win, and that's why you have Colton Miller, right? Colton Miller, is Colton Miller going to control Myles Garrett? I think he can control him, but he's not going to be able to stop him. But I think if you can play man to man, you can get rid of that ball quick, and like you can find some matchups, right? Especially when you have Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers in a game versus Cleveland, where Cleveland has to have somebody guard him man to man, is going to be tough for them to match up, right? And that's why I think they can win that game, because more about just the way they play defense. If it was like more of a zone team, maybe I would think about it a little different. But they're playing man to man. If Brock Bowers can win up that seam really quick, right? It's going to be a better matchup for the Raiders, in my opinion, just because they have the right receivers. I mean, Jacoby Myers. I didn't even talk about Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers can win against man. Devontae Adams can definitely win against man. He's going to be healthy. I mean, he's not going to be like he was last year. He's getting destroyed by Jimmy Garoppolo throwing ducks. So he's going to be healthy at that point. So we're getting a healthy Devontae Adams, who's probably upset because he got 1,100 yards, and people are saying that he's the seventh best receiver now. They're putting like Jamar Chase and stuff over him. People are disrespecting him. So I'm sure he's reading that stuff. So they play man, they better watch out for that. You know what I mean? So that's going to be that interesting game for them. So they got a chance to start 3-1, but I still think if you get out of here 2-2, they're in a good spot, in my opinion. So, you know what I mean? Like they're in a pretty good spot. Yeah, Gardner might get him killed too. He might. But Gardner against the Browns had a damn good game. I'm not gonna lie. He had a pretty damn good game against the Browns last year, because that's what I'm talking about. Man to man versus a good coordinator is tough in the NFL. Like if you're gonna live and die playing man to man, where I can do good pick routes of wheels. I can, mix it up and have guys crossing, and I can bunch you up and you have to make the right decision. Who got who? There's a lot of things you can do with versus a man-to-man team. And that's why the Browns either gave up no points or they gave up 41 points. Right? I mean, there's a lot of games where the Browns were just tore up. And just how CJ Stroud tore them boys up. And it's because if you have a good coordinator that can take over that man coverage, that's gonna be that's gonna be something that you can take advantage of quickly. So yeah, so I think this first quarter of the season, if they can get out of this 2-2, they're in a great spot for the rest of the season, because I believe there's even a chance they can get out of this 3-1. Maybe this could be an L here if they don't come to play. They got to win this game, but I think they have a chance to beat the Chargers. If I was going to pick a loss here, it would be the Ravens. And if I pick another one, it would probably be the Browns. But I still think you got a chance to start 3-1 here. I don't know what your guys' thoughts here. But I just think defensively too, if you look at some of these teams, I think they're going to be able to control the Chargers. The Chargers really don't have a running back. Who's the Chargers running back right now? You guys can somebody tell me that? Who's the Chargers running back? Anybody know? Do they draft somebody? Who they got? If anybody could tell me that, let me know. But I just think offensively, the Chargers are going to be a little weak. It's going to be more about what the Raiders do on offense against the Chargers on that game. The Ravens are going to be tough regardless, and going out of that way. So, they got Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Oh, they just traded spots? That's hilarious. That's funny to me. Hey, John, can I just send your running backs over here? That is hilarious. Oh, they did get estimate, huh? I forgot about that. But the Raiders just got to stop the run. And I think they'll be ready for that matchup. I think they have a good chance of starting this off with a good start, and they got to at least be 2-2 out of this. I mean, if you get like 1-3, it's people are gonna be upset. They're gonna be calling for Gardner Minshew, all that stuff. So it's gonna be true. Oh yeah. What team is estimates on Denver? Okay, so we're good. So no estimate. He's in Denver. Okay, we're good there. So like it's they just don't have a lot on offense. The Chargers right now, like the wide receivers, like they're planning to be a defensive football team. So if the Raiders can pull that one out, this could be a tough one. But just because division, but they got that. I think they can win that game. The Ravens one is a tough one for me, just because they're going on the road at 10 a.m. If it was home, I feel maybe feel a little different. But I do like this. I do think they have a chance to be 3-1, but they want to be 2-2. Let's keep it real. They want to be 2-2 going out of this. Can Zeus carry the workload? Now, it's gonna be interesting to see how they run the football this year. It's a good question, because I believe that if Jackson Powers Johnson and Colton Miller and Thayer Munford and all those guys can really take a next step in the run game. I think Andre James is going to be a little iffy in the run game. He always is. Dylan Parham, he's up and down the run game, but if he moves back to the right side, he might be a better player. I think Zamir White has a chance to have a pretty good year. I'm not going to say he's make the Pro Bowl or anything like that, but I could see 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards, kind of mixing it up there if they block well, right? And I think they will. I think, that's why Jackson Powers Johnson is there, you know what I mean? Yeah, but come on, guys. DJ Chark, really? Come on, guys. You know that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. But yeah. I feel like Zamir White has a chance to kind of take that next step. I think he had a good year to end the year. If he can keep rolling with that, I think there's a good chance he can have a pretty good year. I'm not gonna go Pro Bowl, right, or anything like that. But if the offensive line plays like how I think it is, add Jackson Powers Johnson, yeah, it could be pretty good too, man. Can running back vision and zone be taught and improved, or is it just in my opinion, it's a little bit of a God-given gift. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It really is. Like, because it's more about mental processing, right? So if it's not something that you can just like naturally being able to read something and then making a decision on the fly. Like that's kind of how that is, right? You're gonna have to make that decision on the fly. I mean, he didn't. I think he played a little bit better in zone last year. I'll give him credit for that, but it's more about like being able to read it. Just like Arian Foster. If you put Arian Foster in a power system, he would never, we wouldn't even know his name, and that's why he went undrafted, because he was slow and all that stuff. But you put him in the Kubiak system, and he's able to read the field. He leads the league in rushing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. So it's gonna be a little interesting there. Do we get better versus stunts? I think so. I think we're gonna get better versus stunts. I think the offensive line is just gonna be a whole lot better, in my opinion. Though I think it's just gonna be a better fit. I think Jax Powers Johnson is just plug, and they're gonna have a damn good offensive line. I'm actually gonna agree with those top 10 rankings for once, I believe. So, all right, let's get to these other games here. Let's get kind of the second stretch here of the season. So we got Broncos here, Steelers, Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, and then got the bye week. So Broncos, the Broncos have to beat us before I think the Raiders aren't going to beat the Broncos. I'm gonna keep it real there. Steelers is gonna be interesting. See how they play defense. See what they're like on offense. I do think this could be a winnable game because they're at home. And last year that should have been a winnable game too, but Jimmy Garoppolo just kind of blew that game a little bit and just making some bad decisions and doing what Jimmy Garoppolo does. So hopefully Aiden O'Connell can play a little bit better there. And yes, he does. Patrick Graham is a Russ whisperer. I would say he's a Russ whisperer. Russell Wilson has not been the same since the Giants game in 2020. He just hasn't been the same. So it's going to be interesting there to see how that goes. But I think the Rams game is going to be tough too. On defense, they're not going to be as good because they don't have Aaron Donald. But Matthew Stafford, he's still going to be there. They got Puka Nakua, all those guys. I think their offensive line is a little up and down though, and that's when the pass rush is going to come in this game with the Rams. So the pass rush is going to be a big deal in that game. They're going to have to get after Matthew Stafford because if Matthew Stafford has time, he's going to tear the Raiders up. I mean, he's still one of the best quarterbacks in football. He plays at a high level. The Rams had no business being in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs because they had Matthew Stafford. So that's going to be a tough matches for them. But I mean, it's a winnable game though, because I think the Rams they're still a mediocre football team. They're not like a 13-4 type of football team, in my opinion. They could be. You never know with these seasons. We don't know, right? I mean, it's May, so I do kind of see them as still a little bit mediocre. They did add some young pass rushers, adding Fisk and Jared Verse to their defense, but they're still young. They're still young guys, so that's gonna be an interesting matchup for me. I think this Chiefs, of course, the Chiefs. That's always gonna be tough. The Raiders gonna have to, attack the Chiefs. They're gonna have to get after that pass rush. They added some speed there, but the pass rush is gonna be a big deal on this one, like it always is, right? And I don't know if they're gonna be able to play 3 buzz like they did before. They might be able to do that, but it's gonna be interesting. And yeah, I agree with this. The Rams have questions on defense, so it's gonna be a Getsy and AOC ministry type game. Yeah, it is. The Rams is going to be a game where they're going to attack that secondary, and they're not going to have that pass rush like they used to. And I know Aaron Donald wasn't as good as he was last year, but I mean, what does that even mean? I mean, he still is a beast. But having Fisk come in there, they just don't have a lot of scary guys on defense at this point that will scare you. I mean, they might take a next step. They're also implementing a new defensive system. I mean, they're going to try to use the same system, but the play caller's gone. Raheem Morris, he's in Atlanta, which the Raiders play later on. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes overall with that one. Of course, the Chiefs. Yeah, you got to take down Patrick Mahomes. Who knows how that's going to go? They added Hollywood Brown, but yeah, Xavier Worthy is a speedster, but I still think if you get your hands on Xavier Worthy, he's not going to be able to get off press coverage. So they're going to have to get physical with the Chiefs. And of course, Travis Kelce will, he's going to be the beast that they're going to have to stop. But, the Raiders pass rush is key in eliminating Travis Kelce, just like they did last year on Christmas. You get after the quarterback, you eliminate Travis Kelce because Travis Kelce has to block. He has to chip. And he might have to do that anyways. So that's how you eliminate Travis Kelce. But you got to be able to tackle him in open field when they do those little stupid screens and check downs to him when he comes off the block. That's going to be key to beating them. So, how did Wilkins do against the Chiefs last year? That's a good question. I'm not sure, man. I don't know about too well because they didn't really win those games. But that's gonna be the key to beat the Chiefs is make Travis Kelce block. If you can make Travis Kelce block, you eliminate one of those guys. Rashee Rice, who knows how long he's going to be suspended. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be the other guy. We don't know how long Rashee Rice is going to be out, right? And they might punish him a little bit. And who knows how long it's going to take. They wait till the convictions are done and stuff like that. He might be suspended for this game. So that's going to be interesting. They got to make him block. Now, Cincinnati Bengals is going to be an interesting game too because the Bengals don't have a great offensive line either. Orlando Brown's not a stud. They lost Jonah Williams. I don't know who they replaced him with. The Bengals is going to be interesting with that. Burrow, of course, who knows? He might be hurt by here. I'm just sad to say. I'm not going to say that, but I mean, he does have injury issues. It's happened 2 times in his career where he's missed the whole season. So it is a thing, even in what year was it? 2022. When they played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, he got hurt early in that year too. So it is a thing. So, Joe Burrow we'll see how that goes. That's gonna be interesting game week 9 before they get into the season. But a lot of these games are pass rush games to me too, because the Bengals and Chiefs are pass rush games. They have to get after the passer, and if you can get Joe Burrow out of rhythm and have him trying to run around and make plays, yeah, it's going to be tough for him. And it's like I said, the Chiefs, you just got to make them. You got to make Travis Kelce block. I mean, that's kind of your key there with that, man. So give me some of these questions here before I get to the rest of the season. We got the bye week. So, who's the toughest opponent in the second half, in your opinion? If I look at it, it's probably the Dolphins and the Chiefs, right? Probably the Chiefs, of course. I think the Dolphins is going to be a tough game, right? Just because the offense. They might have been figured out by then, because that's how Mike McDaniel's. They're the West Coast savants, Gruden type guys. They throw everything out there. I'm sure Mike McDaniel's gonna have some really cool shit week 1. It's gonna be the coolest shit we've ever seen, right? It's like last year, he had the thing where he lined up Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill would run outside. That's the kind of shit that they're going to start doing here, right? Because I think that's going to be a big deal of what they do with that. But think by week 11, that's when we start to see the slowdown with the Dolphins. So I think they're going to have a good idea of what you can do to kind of take them down a little bit. Let me see, what are the questions we got before we get to the rest of these here. Does Sincere McCormick make the football team? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Especially with Dylan Lobby there. Britton Brown's there too. It is a pretty packed running back room, because in my head, I'm still thinking, does Alex Madison make the team? Does anybody know how much money Alex Madison got? Does that ever get announced? Did that ever get announced? I don't remember that getting announced, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see that. He's got a tough road. Sincere McCormick would have to ball, in my opinion, and like ball, like. And even if he did, running backs be balling in preseason, and teams cut him anyways. So it's be interesting to see how this goes, man. With that, I kind of answered that question already. What is it? Thoughts on Tyree? Now, Tyree Wilson, I see he's looking leaner, right? He's not as big, so I like that. So I don't think he's 275 anymore. He's probably around like 260 or something like that. I bet he's like 265, and he needed to lose that weight, in my opinion. But because I don't think he's gonna lose power. I don't think he's gonna lose what his best part of his game is. If he loses 10 pounds, you're not gonna lose strength. You know what I mean? You're just gonna have more speed, more get off, and I think he needed to lean out a little bit, especially if he's trying to play with Mountain Kuntz and get some playing time, because Malcolm Kuntz put on weight, right? So he could play the run. Tyree Wilson has to put on weight so he can be a little bit more athletic. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he plays, man. Because one, he's not a Telesco draft pick, right? We could start there, and I know we could. It's gonna suck if something happens to him, and anything could happen. But he's just not a Telesco draft pick, and Malcolm Kuntz. When Tom Telesco did watch the Raiders play the Chargers, Malcolm Kuntz made an impression. So, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes, man. So 1.65 guaranteed. Yeah, I mean that's not too much, in my opinion. He must be from the IE. So my man Cam. Cam's got an album coming out. Check out his album when it comes out. Yeah, but the IE, yeah, you got a rep for the IE, but maybe he doesn't make the team. You know what I mean? Thank you for that. Heard you on the radio with Vinny this morning. That's awesome, bro. Appreciate that, man. You got any other questions here before we get into this? Can an OSU linebacker handle Henry? Will he be playing at that point? I don't know. I think Luke Masterson will probably be playing at that point, in my opinion. But I like Eckenberg though. I do like him a lot as a running defender. He's a little bit of a stud there. Pass coverage. We'll see. Spillane improved under Pierce. Maybe he can get the most of that out of Eichenberg too. So if I'm saying that name right, you guys know I'm terrible with names, but hopefully, he can have some growth there too, man. And he can get better in pass pro. But I would see him more as a future linebacker for the Raiders. That's what I would say. I would say like 2025 and beyond before we get into anything with that. All right, before we get the second half, I'll answer one more question here. Will we regret not drafting Fuaga? I don't know. I don't think so. because I like Brock Bowers a lot. So I don't want to get on not having Brock Bowers because I would rather have Brock Bowers in my opinion. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. Just more of an impact, man. Um, so I just think that it's gonna be a little bit of what I would say a lot of him making more plays and us forgetting about Fuaga at all and him not being there, But I agree with this Barry. Yeah, I do agree with this one. Especially if you're gonna play Glaze at guard, like what are we doing? But anyways, I digress. Here we go. Brandon Brown sighting. Maybe, man. Maybe we get him here. Does Telesco make any moves before the trade deadline? That's gonna be interesting. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be depending on injuries and what their record is. Now, if they have a good record and they have some injuries and they feel like they have a chance to go make a run, they might make some trades. But yeah, man, it that's going to be that's up in the air a little bit, because what if they're bad? Then they might just start shipping guys out too. So that's going to be a little bit of a thing too. What was it? Hard to find Bowers or than a Fuaga. Yeah, it's harder to find a Bowers. Bowers is a freak. He's a generational talent. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You know, but he played Rokon, right? You know what I'm saying? He played Rokon. Maybe he knows a little bit of things. Didn't he? Or was Rokon earlier than that? I don't know. All right, let's get to the second half, guys. Let's get to the second half. So we start with the Dolphins, 10 a.m. game. That's gonna be a tough one. Um, I still think it depends. I think when we get to this bye week, we're gonna know how good this Raiders football team is, right? Because let's say I'm gonna do my scenarios. Let's say they go 2-2. Let's be safe. I'm gonna be safe here. I'm not gonna kind of be the over optimistic Raiders fan. Let's just say they go 2-2, right? They win these team games. They're 4-2. Let's just say they end up what? So if they what does that be? What, 6? Let's be fair here, right? Go 5-4 here, right? Let's try to be pessimistic a little bit. I was thinking 6-3 because I think they could be 6-3 going into this game. There's a good chance they could be 6-3 going into this game, but at the least, I think they'll be 5-4. No matter, because if they go 2-2, I think they win these two games, and then let's say they win, one of these next two that puts them at 5-4. If they pull out one of these two games, they're 6-3, right? So I think there's a chance to go 6-3, 5-4 in this game, right? So let's say they go play Miami. I think they got a good chance of winning this game. And it's good, and I think the defense will be hyped. They'll be coming off a bye week. I think it'd be a good thing for them, right? In my opinion. Denver, of course, like I said, that's a win every time. Until Denver beat us, it's a win. So Kansas City, that's another tough one. But I think they might steal one of these games. I think they can steal one of these Kansas City games. Not sure which one. I think they're going to steal one. I do. I do. Oh yeah. So yeah. Okay. He was. So yeah. That's pretty long ago. But I think they steal one of these games. In my opinion, Tampa Bay, winnable all day. Winnable game. Atlanta, winnable game. Even with Kirk Cousins. And I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, they got Kirk Cousins. They got all these guys. But we know with the Falcons, okay? If the Falcons struggle a little bit, the birds will be chirping. The birds will be chirping, literally. And that's that is literally what will be happening because Michael Penix is just sitting back there with his do-rag, just chilling. He's in his do-rag. He's in basically one of the blackest cities in America, and they're going to want a black quarterback. Let's keep it real. They're going to want their Michael Vick 2.0 type of guy. And Kirk Cousins, and I know he's got the chain. He's Kirko Cousins, whatever they want to call him. But let's keep it real. If they're struggling a little bit and they start off, it's going to be some quarterback controversy on there. Yeah, I think there's a chance they can steal this one. Jacksonville, I think win that game too. These are home games. I think Jacksonville has to come all the way to Las Vegas. They can win that game. Now the Saints game, I mean, this is the game that Raiders fans are gonna be circling. I think they can win this one too. I think, you know, there, who knows how this game's gonna go. I know Derek Carr is gonna try to play his ass off just because he's playing his former team, and we'll see how this goes. But that's a winnable game too. And then of course the Chargers are at the end. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, the Raiders. It depends on how this team plays defense. I saw this question, conservative estimate for how good our defense could be this season. Yeah, I think minimum is top 15 just because the pass rush. Like the Browns were literally a number one defense last year because of their pass rush. Like they got a pretty good secondary, but they had some holes back there. But that pass rush was so ridiculous, right? That they were able to make the playoffs and go like 12-5. And I know Joe Flacco balled at the end of the year. I know that, right? But this pass rush is going to be ridiculous, guys. It's hard for me to explain how good this pass rush is going to be because you got Max Crosby. That's a for sure thing, right? Max. I saw a stat from because I saw a stat from my Chargers guy Steve, who was trying to calm down Chargers fans who were saying that Joe Alt can black Max Crosby, and he was and Steve is Steve Haglin, my dude from Guilty as Charged podcast. He was trying to calm Chargers fans down today. He's like, hey guys, I need you. I know it's jokes and we're joking, but Max Crosby had at 16 out of 17 games, he had more than 4 pressures. Okay. So the pass rush is going to be ridiculous, I think. And I feel like that's why they're not super heavy going after corners, because when you have a pass rush, and especially when you're a PFF guy, you're Mr. Analytics, and they have their which is the one is a pass rush first coverage. You're going to go pass rush, right? And that's why I think this is going to be the key to this whole defense is the pass rush. And then they have depth of defensive line. Let's because you have Tyree there, right? Let's say Kuntz gets hurt, or somebody gets hurt, or even Christian Wilkins gets hurt, or somebody has some injuries there, right? You got Adam Butler, you got John Jenkins, you got those guys. There's a lot of depth on this defensive line too. So pass rush, man. They had a ridiculous pass rush to end the year last year. So that's why I feel like these end games are all winnable. So like, let's say what I had my conservative 5-4. Let's just say they lose this game to the Dolphins 5-5. They win this game 6-5, 6-6, right? Let's just, I mean, I had them losing to the Chiefs over here. So they beat the Chiefs. They're 7-5, right? They can win all these last 5 games, guys. They literally could. I mean, these are 5 winnable games to end the year. So they just have to be in a good spot after this Chiefs game, and then just come and play great football after this, right? There's a lot of winnable games here. So I mean, I'm just really confident in the pass rush overall. That I think this stretch of games at the end is pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Starting O-line and backup. I don't. What do you mean by this question, TN? What do you mean? Like, you talk about our starting O-line or our backups? You kind of explain that question so I can get deeper look into that one. Yeah, man. And one thing about the Chargers, I feel like people overrate their damn little commercial things they did today. I feel like that was weak, man. And I thought the Falcons one was a little. It was a little subtle. You know what I mean? It's just a little subtle, a little iffy on the, kind of disrespectful to a certain demographic. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? It was a little iffy that the Falcon, like, why they gotta be in the club? What are you trying to say? You know what I mean? What are you saying? Why couldn't it be brunch? Atlanta likes brunch too, bro. So I thought that was a little iffy. But what was I say? Yeah. The Chargers fans are tripping, bro. I don't know. They're tripping. You know what I mean? Magic City. You know what I mean? It was the Patriots part of it was great. The Patriots video was great, but like Magic City, you know what I mean? Like they might as well done that because like they did a club. But like, what are you guys doing, man? What is that about? But yeah, man, I really feel like this second half, this last stretch of 5 games, if they're even 6-6, guys, they got a good chance to end the season 10-7. So I think they got to get here at least 6-6. You know what I mean? At least 6-6. I don't know if you guys agree with that. If they're 6-6 here, they got a good stretch, right? If they start 3-0, Nick, I mean, if they start 3-0, man, that's great for me. It's gonna be great content. There's gonna be tons of people watching the show. That would be fantastic. So I hope so, man. And you are right, Diego. I totally forgot about this. See, I wasn't even thinking about that. They got Greg Roman over there, huh? Wow. You think Justin Herbert runs for 1,000 yards this year, guys? I'm sorry. I had to say that, dude. Can we get a 1,000-yard Justin Herbert? It's gonna be rid of that. You know, you know what I mean? He said BD comes back and they start 3-0. Maybe, dude. So if they get, there's gonna be, kind of, doing some quarterback counter. You know what I mean? With Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert turned into Daniel Jones. Man, it's gonna be interesting, dude, with that. All right. So, what do you want to see from the Raiders offense throughout the season? I want to see them be able to run the ball and set up 12 personnel to create bad matchups. And I want to see Luke Getsy take advantage of those situations. That's what I want the Raiders offense to be able to do. They got to be able to run the football. If you are bringing in to have two tight ends, you're going to have the audacity to draft two tight ends, right? After draft and kind of go with that type of aspect, right? And you're going to play 12 personnel. You better be able to run the football, right? Because if you can run the football and play 12 personnel with Brock Bowers, bro, it's going to be hard to stop the Raiders. It is. With Gardner Minshew, with Aiden O'Connell, it's going to be hard to stop them. Even then, and we might even see those guys play better than they actually are, in my opinion. I think Gardner Minshew has maybe struggled to stretch the field a little bit more than Aiden O'Connell, but I think it's gonna be hard to stop them regardless, man. If they can run the football, and which I think that's their plan. I think their plan is to be able to run the football, play great defense, get after the quarterback. That's going to be their kind of ideal look on defense, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys disagree with that, but yeah. Getsy does make me a little bit nervous too. So I'll talk about Getsy a little bit. So I know Tian asked this question earlier, so let me answer Tian's question. So I think the starting offensive line is kind of set already. I think it's going to be Miller. It's going to be, they're playing Jackson Powers Johnson left guard, so I'll go left guard Jackson Powers Johnson, center Andre James, right guard Dylan Parham, and then right tackle Thayer Munford. That would be my starting offensive line. So we'll see how that goes. So Getsy does make me a little nervous too, man. Because with Getsy, it's more about he's a vertical passing guy naturally, who might have to adjust to being a short passing guy. And that's why he makes me nervous. Because his short passing offense is like basic West Coast offense stuff, like sticks, slant flat. It's not like John Gruden with short passes. Like John Gruden has a short pass. He has like 8,000 short passes, 8,000 choice routes, 8,000 short passing concepts, right? Hopefully we see a lot more Devontae Adams on choice routes and, getting a lot more catches inside and just getting the ball in his hands. And that's maybe something that they plan on doing. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how he performs with some of the matchups they're going to have, because literally if they can run the football, I'm telling you guys, a lot of the season is going to be based on if they can run the damn football, if they want to play 12 personnel. If they can't run the ball, then 12 personnel kind of goes out the window a little bit, because you're going to have to pass, and to pass consistently, you're going to have to be in 11. You're going to need some more. You're going to need some more playmakers out there. And I know Michael Mayer can do that, but you just can't live in 12 personnel if you can't run the football. So it's going to be key. It's going to be key for them to run the football and keep that 12 personnel on the field and find matchups that they can exploit. So it's going to be very key, man. It's going to be very key. I kind of answered this about McCormick a little bit earlier. It's just gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough for him to make the football team, just from his where he is stacked right now. Because you would have to imagine he's probably behind Britton Brown, right? So it would just be stacked, right? It'd be a stacked thing. So it's gonna be interesting thing for him to kind of get up there. He's gonna get the ball, man. He's gonna get the ball. Does our QBs match up with Gessy's play calls? Not really. That's the problem. I mean, not with the zone read type of things that he likes to do, but I do believe, you know, it's hard for me to say because I feel like he just needs a deep passer. I don't know what Aiden O'Connell's doing this offseason. Maybe Aiden O'Connell is working on his arm strength, working on his hip rotation so he could, get some better velocity in the football. We'll see, but yeah, it's just tough, man. It's just tough, bro. It's gonna be tough there. Let's see if Parham does go to right guard. Who's a front runner for seeing what we've been asking for? Someone that's in the building or someone who's watched him play right guard against his team 3 years ago? Probably. That's a good. You know what? That's a good damn point, bro. To me, I just don't understand why they moved to left guard to play Alex Bars. I can't stand Josh McDaniels at all. Carter Brusella too. He was ass too, man. Ass. All right, so where does Bryce Young fit? Byron Young. I said Bryce. Byron Young. I don't know, bro. That's gonna be hard for him, dude. It's gonna be. I don't know. I think that was a reaching draft pick for me, and then for him not even to get any snaps when they needed some interior pass rush. Because he's an undersized run defender. You know, what I mean. So it's gonna be tough there, dude. Do you think our return game is gonna be legit this year? I think so, man. Dylan Lobby and Trey Tucker, they can mix it up, man. And some reverses, bro. Yeah, reverses. Because the returns are gonna get crazy. But like I said, if they got a good special teams coach, the special teams coach can cook. That's what it's gonna be about, man. It's gonna be about the special teams coach cooking. Yes, yeah. Don't even remind me of this because that's what Luke Getzey. Luke Getzey ran at Isaac Rochelle the whole game. He was like, "If you're gonna put Isaac Rochelle out there, I'm gonna run right at you." And he just ran right at Isaac Rochelle the whole football game, dog. The whole damn football game. And that's one thing I like about Getzey is that he attacks players, right? Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting there, man. Yeah. So he's looking less chubby in the footage they released. Yeah, even the footage I released, he looks like he's moving a little bit better there. So yeah, man. So you think Parham needs to put some more weight since he's a lot of offensive linemen listed on the roster? Yeah, you see, he was 285. What was that about? Was that real? Why are you 285, doc? I was like, okay. Oh man. Okay. All right. Do they hang on to McMahon? Maybe. I mean, I think Tommy McMahon's I think he's a pretty good special teams coach. Yeah, right. I saw that he was like 285. Somebody texted me that like he was 285. I was like, what the hell? I think it was Matt, bro. I'll be at Allegiant this year, guys. I'll be at Allegiant, man. I'll let you guys when I know there. Dylan Parham is 285. Somebody text me that. I might be wrong. Maybe you guys can check me out. But somebody text me that Dylan Parham was 285. And I think it was Matt Holder. Right? I think he was listed there. I might be wrong. I don't, me, guys. I don't mind being wrong. I'm not one of those guys to be like, I'm always right. I don't mind being wrong. If I'm wrong there, somebody told me that. I swear it was Matt. When he was drafted, he was 285. Okay. It's listed on the team website. Yeah, on the team website, he's 285. He should be bigger now. Okay. Hopefully. Hopefully. Okay. All right. We're good. So that's what I thought. So somebody did tell me that. What we got? So what does Scott Turner, our passing coordinator, do? That's a good question. I think this year he'll probably have more input than last year, because last year I had no idea what the hell he was there for. I have no idea what he's there for, guys. No idea. No idea what he was there for last year. So, man, so hopefully, I think he's got some input. Some if they add some Air Coryell stuff, that'd be pretty cool. Add some like 989s and stuff like that, and get some vertical routes. But I do think that I do think Scott Turner was a little bit more West Coast than Air Coryell when he's in Washington. Kind of different from his dad a little bit, but I do believe that we'll see more input from Scott Turner instead of Josh McDaniels. Be like, you're just here just to fill a position, you know? Yeah. Yeah, man. Does James Craig make you nervous? No, James Craig is he doesn't make me nervous. It's a little bit of an unknown on what he's gonna do. But he does have good pedigree. When he was a coach at LSU, I mean, they won the Outland, the what is it, the Joe Moore Award? Is that what the award where they give it to the best offensive line group? Is it Joe Moore? I believe they won that award when he was the coach there. And a lot of those guys got drafted. Cushionberry, Damian Lewis, those who's got paid. And I think like Anthony Buford even got drafted too. A lot of those guys got drafted, man. So I think he has a good pedigree there, man, in my opinion. So I think there's some good things we're gonna do there. But yeah, one thing, I'm definitely gonna have these games, guys. So I'll let you know which games I'm gonna go to. I'm for sure gonna do that this year because I got more time to do that. And with college football dogs, kind of sponsoring us, they're gonna kind of give me that opportunity to go out to these games and cover them a little bit. So let me see. What was our fullback is Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is the fullback. Him and Brock Bowers, they're the fullbacks. What else? What games are you most excited for on the schedule? Of course, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm excited for the Saints game. The atmosphere for that game. It's gonna be crazy on Twitter. It's gonna be fights. I hope just guys get ready. I'm happy that it's gonna be the end of the season, so we don't get all that anger out, or there's gonna be some angry fights. So people are gonna get back to wanting to meet up in Oakland. There's gonna be some Bay Area meetups. During that week, it's gonna be people heated, man. It's gonna go back to 2022, right? We're gonna have some flashbacks, some heated stuff, man. It's gonna be a great game for that. But that's kind of the game I'm excited for. But a game that I'm excited for early on, the Ravens game. That's gonna be a game I'm excited for. Just to kind of see what the Raiders are looking like. And I really like, besides the division games, I like the Bengals game too. It's a very test game for me. Yeah, yeah, man, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, those are some of the games that I like. But who did our voice for the schedule release? What do you mean the voice? Who did the voice? I'm not sure about that one. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, actually, it is. I actually been to both those places. Yeah, man. Yep. Just down to 15, bro. What else we got here? So we're about out of hour, guys. Here, I really appreciate you guys coming in. Anybody got any other questions here? But like I said, guys, I'm gonna be going to these games here, checking it out. Definitely going to be going to more games, covering these games live a lot more, and doing that a lot more. So definitely check me out this year, guys. I'm gonna be out on the road a whole lot more, checking out these games. So we'll definitely have some meetups. I mean, hopefully I can, talk to some people, maybe get a live episode going down there in Las Vegas, and doing that, kind of, find out how we can do that, and kind of, we can party together, guys, get some partying going down there. So definitely have some good output there, man. Trip, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys donating to the channel. Keep donating, guys. Because one thing, I am going to start doing this full time, guys. So this is me, man. I'm gonna be here all the time. That's why we got these videos coming out, the member stuff. Join the membership. We'll be pumping out videos, guys. So we're here, man. We are here, guys. So join Tato Live, guys. Join the channel. We're out here. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Just a quick episode going over the schedule and talking over the chat, answering some questions. We're probably not gonna be back Friday, but definitely getting some this weekend once kind of Matt kind of gets going and coming back and joining us, man. So be on the lookout. Yeah, yeah. How often are you on the Raiders subreddit? I haven't been on the Raiders subreddit, but I know some people aren't fans of me there. To be honest, they're not the biggest fans of me in the subreddit. I got some haters over in the subreddit. I've seen the haters I got over there, but it's all right. It's all right. We love the hate. We love the hate. So his love too. It's an emotion. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Like I said, I appreciate you guys coming in and joining us tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm out of here. Peace.